What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, May 4th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 10:29 a.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe, but also here at home in the U.S. So, according to the Associated Press, the U.S. Secretary of the Air Force, Frank Kendall, supervised an experimental flight of an F-16 fighter jet that was controlled by AI. And this test was done in California. And the Secretary of the Air Force said that after the test, he had trusted the AI, artificial intelligence, enough to where they could use these F-16s with just the AI piloting the F-16 on its own. Guys, that is absolutely insane, and that is extremely concerning. Now, a couple of days ago, the U.S. asked Russia and China to sign a treaty vowing that they would never use AI to deploy nuclear weapons. And now we have this F-16 that was piloted by AI on its own. And the Secretary of the Air Force is saying that he trusts the AI enough to trust it with the decision to use weapons with the F-16. Okay. So this is like the real life Terminator. This is exactly what happens in Terminator, in the movie Terminator. If you've never seen it before, the U.S. military puts AI in control of all of their strategic assets, their nuclear forces, and the AI is so smart it realizes that the threat is not other humans but humans themselves, and the AI launches American nuclear weapons at Russia on purpose. So Russia launches back on the US and causes a nuclear war that reduces the population of humanity. And then afterwards, the AI builds its own army of Terminators and tries to basically exterminate humanity from Earth. Okay. And that's what could happen, guys. I mean, F-16s being flown on their own by AI, that is scary, guys. Okay. And I'm sure they probably have real life Terminators somewhere, maybe at Area 51 or some of these secret bases where they test all different kinds of secret technology. I'm sure they already have Terminators, and now they're piloting fighter jets with AI. I mean, that's insane. And the new B-21 Raider, that's our new stealth bomber, that's going to be deployed in the coming years to replace our B-2s. The B-21 Raider is going to have AI in it. And the reason why is they want these stealth bombers to be unmanned in case they can't get a pilot quick enough into the cockpit. In a nuclear war scenario, the planes could take off themselves so they don't get destroyed by enemy nukes. And then they can fly to targets and bomb targets and basically think and act autonomously as if it were piloted. So this is very, very concerning, guys. This is extremely concerning. Wanted to break that news to you, okay? An F-16 fighter jet has been flown by AI. It was tested in California. This is being reported by the Associated Press. Now, before I continue with more of the breaking news, I want to just mention that my Twitter account has been banned for some reason. I did create some new Twitter accounts, but I'm not going to be posting there. But I will be posting to Telegram. So to get to my Telegram, you just type in t.me/NYPrepper1, and I'll leave a link to my Telegram down in the comments. But I'm going to be posting all my videos there, and also any footage that I cannot share here or any kind of news that's too controversial for YouTube, I'll put it on my Telegram, any kind of raw footage that I can't share here. And this update was sponsored by Patriot Supply. Guys, Patriot Supply is doing a discount on their 1 month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnyprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. This is a 1 month freeze-dried food supply. It has a 25-year shelf life. Normal price is $237. They've dropped it down to $177. So that's a savings of $60. And it's all packed within 2 rugged, water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $177 for 1 month of food. Where are you going to find a deal like that? They also have a general store, and they're always running discounts in their general store on various prepping and survival items. They have everything from MREs, potassium iodide, to survival seeds. And to get to their general store, you got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com. And you'll see when you get there, they have everything you can imagine. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $60 off the My Patriot Supply 1 month emergency food supply. That's $180 for 1 month of food, free shipping included. The link is in the description below this video. And also check out their general store. They have everything you can imagine prepping and survival related, and they're always running various discounts there. So we have major breaking news coming out of Latvia. Apparently, the Latvian army has started digging anti-tank trenches near the border with Russia. The Latvian military has begun building a chain of strongholds on the border with Russia and Belarus, the Latvian radio and television portal LSM reported. According to them, a kilometer from the border with the Russian Federation, not far from the Tarakovo border checkpoint, protective fortifications, various obstacles, and premises for ammunition depots are being erected. Latvian engineer and Lieutenant Colonel Kaspars Lazdins said that they dug up a road near the Russian border and are making an anti-tank ditch so that it would be impossible to drive along it. According to him, the defense line is being built taking into account the natural landscape, including rivers, swamps, and forests. He clarified that after the completion of these works, dragon teeth will also be placed on the border and minefields will become a measure in case of hostilities. So far, barriers are being erected without the use of explosives, Lazdins added. In mid-January, Estonia announced that it would build about 600 bunkers on its eastern border due to the alleged threat from the Russian Federation. So this is huge news, guys. Okay, Latvia is digging up the earth and making anti-tank trenches specifically near the Tarakovo border crossing. They're putting up obstacles and protective fortifications. And they're putting up ammunition depots nearby. Okay, so they're moving ammunition close to the border in case there's a fight with Russia. They have ammunition close by to resupply their forces. This is huge, okay? They're literally digging up the ground, building anti-tank trenches now, all right? And Latvia's government is moving forward with legal amendments that would mean that in the case of an emergency, such as an invasion, foreigners could serve in special units of the Latvian National Armed Forces. This was reported on Tuesday this past week, April 23rd. The Cabinet of Ministers approved amendments to the law on military service, which provides for the possibility of admitting foreigners to the National Armed Forces in the event of an exceptional mobilization or if martial law is declared in the country. A number of other relevant amendments are also planned in the law. Latvia is preparing for various military threat scenarios, learning from Ukraine's experience. The aim of this initiative is to organize the regulatory base so that Latvia, in the event of a state of emergency or martial law, can promptly accept volunteer foreigners into service in addition to the NATO forces that are already with us. This initiative would strengthen our defense combat capabilities, opening up a wider opportunity for motivated citizens of other countries to fight for our country, explained Minister of Defense Andris Spruds. Foreign citizens who would like to serve in the National Armed Forces in an emergency situation will be required to stay legally in the territory of Latvia and know the national language, or at least one of the official languages of NATO, to a suitable standard. So this is huge news, guys. Okay, Latvia changing their military law so that foreigners can serve in their military. That is another huge sign that something is brewing in the Baltics. I've shown you guys all of the NATO reconnaissance activity over the Baltics the past week or so. It's really intensified. We've been seeing British Eurofighter Typhoons flying in Estonia. We've been seeing all kinds of NATO reconnaissance in Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland. And just over the last few weeks, really, we've seen a lot of it. But in the last week to 2 weeks, it's really picked up. So something is brewing here, guys. I personally believe that what Russia's going to do is they are going to attack the Baltics and the Suwalki Gap. They're going to try to close the Suwalki Gap and maybe attack the Baltics. And the purpose of that would be to open up a new front for NATO. Okay, NATO is struggling to arm Ukraine as it is. Okay, NATO is trying to find artillery shells and munitions to send to Ukraine, and they're having a hard time doing it because NATO has not gone into wartime production yet. Okay, while Russia has gone into wartime production, they've been making artillery shells, tanks, everything. Okay, and we haven't done any of that. We're still in like a peacetime mode, and so we're behind. Okay, and if Russia attacks the Baltics and the Suwalki Gap, then how is NATO going to be able to focus on arming Ukraine and then at the same time arming the Baltics and protecting the Baltics? It's not going to happen, guys. They're going to have to pick one over the other. So they're obviously going to pick the Baltics and send equipment there and troops there. And then in the meantime, Ukraine will get neglected. And that's going to be the opportunity for Russia to push deeper into Ukraine and make significant breakthroughs and potentially reach the Dnieper River. Okay, I personally believe that Russia is going to focus their efforts on 3 parts of Ukraine in this upcoming offensive. I think they're going to try to surround Kharkiv or put pressure on Kharkiv. I don't think they're going to be able to completely take Kharkiv because it's a huge city, but I think they're going to try to surround it and make it untenable for Ukrainians to live there. And I think they're also going to try to break through near Poltava. And then I think Zaporizhia as well, and also Donetsk. They're going to try to push the line further away from Donetsk. But I think those 3 or 4 areas right there, Kharkiv, Poltava, Donetsk, and Zaporizhia, those are going to be Russia's main avenues of approach in this coming offensive, okay? And I do believe that they're going to go into the Baltics as well. I don't think they're going to try to take all of the Baltics, but even if, let's say, they go in a little bit, or even if just Belarus goes in, and Belarus goes in and occupies just a few miles of Lithuania's territory, that's still enough to cause panic and chaos in NATO, and NATO's going to have to focus on that, and then they're going to neglect Ukraine in the meantime, and then Russia's going to really hammer Ukraine and break through the lines and reach the Dnieper River. I think Russia wants to reach the Dnieper River and take everything east of the Dnieper River, because the Dnieper River is a good natural barrier. If they can reach that river, it's going to be impossible for Ukraine to cross and take any land back. The way the front lines are right now, Russia's front lines are huge. They have a huge area to defend. It's a really long front line. It's probably like 1,000 miles that Russia has to defend, and it's very easy for Ukraine, if they have enough equipment, maybe not this year, but maybe next year or the year after, the Ukrainians could try to break through along that long front line. But if Russia pushes to the Dnieper, then they don't have to worry as much. They have a good, solid natural barrier, the river, and it's going to be hard for the Ukrainians to cross the river. Okay, so that's, I think, Russia's ultimate goal, potentially also to go for the capital as well, try to take the capital and then also take Odessa, but that might be further down the road, not right away, not right now. I don't think that's Russia's immediate goal, unless the Ukrainians are just get so depleted and they collapse. Then obviously, if they have an opportunity to take Kyiv, they will, but I don't think that's their immediate goal. But this is a very serious situation, guys. Okay, Ukraine is in dire straits now, and the West is panicking. NATO is panicking. Just the other day, the French President Emmanuel Macron said that if Russia made significant breakthroughs, then he would consider sending his own forces to stop the Russian breakthroughs and slow them down. Okay. Now, what you're looking at here is a reminder from the Polish military that there will be NATO vehicles moving in northern Poland. And what you're looking at here is a post on Twitter from the Polish military reminding Polish citizens that from today through the 6th, there's going to be a massive amount of NATO equipment being moved in the 3 northern provinces of Poland along the Baltic Sea and along the Russian border. Okay. So this is very, very serious. It looks like NATO is positioning its forces in the northern part of Poland along the border with Russia. In case Russia tries to invade Poland from the north, they'll have forces there. So this is huge, guys. I mean, we are literally on the verge of a direct war with Russia. And the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, said that Ukraine is now facing a new stage of the war and that the Russian Federation is preparing for a massive offensive. And the Russian government has introduced a temporary ban on sugar exports. That's pretty interesting. And Russia is threatening severe retaliation that would be devastating if Ukraine destroys the Crimean Bridge, according to the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova. And this is coming just 2 days after the British Foreign Minister David Cameron said after visiting Kiev that Ukraine has the right to use British weapons on Russian soil. Okay, so Maria Zakharova threatening severe retaliation that would be devastating if Ukraine destroys the Crimean Bridge. Okay, I don't know what that means. Are they going to nuke Ukraine? Are they going to use chemical weapons? I don't know. Are they going to launch 1,000 missiles at Kyiv? I have no idea, but the situation is continuing to spiral out of control, guys. So you need to get prepared because any day we could wake up and our power could be out and there could be radioactive fallout falling from the sky. So you have to be prepared at all times. You have to know what to do if there's a nuclear war. Just look back to the culinary night, okay? Everything happens so quick. When there's a nuclear war, it happens in minutes. You're not going to have hours or days to prepare, okay? It's just going to happen, and you're either prepared or you're not, and nuclear war will transpire within 1 to 2 hours, and basically millions or billions of people will die in just 1 to 2 hours. Okay, and then you're going to have the fallout and the starvation afterwards. Okay, and then potentially these new AI machines may try to take over the world and capitalize on the situation. All right, but get prepared because things, when they happen fast, and you're not going to have days to prepare. Okay, things can happen in seconds, minutes, hours. Okay, and it could change the world. So you have to be ready at all times. You have to have a fallout shelter. Check out my nuclear war survival videos. I'll leave links in the top right corner. And Russia is claiming that they shot down 4 ATACMS missiles over Crimea yesterday. This was reported by the Russian Ministry of Defense. And the Israeli Defense Force informed the Biden administration of its plan to remove Gaza civilians from Rafah ahead of an invasion, which is scheduled for next Friday if Hamas doesn't accept a new ceasefire proposal. Okay, so it looks like next Friday is when things are going to kick off in Rafah. And CIA Director George Burns is in Cairo, Egypt this weekend due to the new Israeli-Hamas ceasefire deal that has reached a critical point. So we'll see what happens. And the Houthi militants have threatened to attack commercial ships linked to Israel or heading to its ports if Israel launches an operation in Rafah. So once Israel launches this operation, which I believe they will, regardless of the ceasefire deal, because Netanyahu already said he's going to go into Rafah regardless if there's a ceasefire deal or not. And once Israel goes into Rafah, I think we can expect the Muslim world to just go crazy. I think we're going to see attacks here in the homeland. I think we're going to see the Iranian proxies attack our bases potentially. And then obviously the Houthis and potentially even Iran itself. Iran could launch missiles at Israel again. And we also have unconfirmed reports that a U.S. base was attacked in eastern Syria last night with 7 missiles. They were attacked by Iranian proxies with 7 missiles. This was in the Al Omar oil field, and this is being reported by Iranian and Russian state media. And Israel is considering joint control of the Gaza Strip with Arab countries. According to the plan, Israel will share control with the UAE, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, along with the U.S., and it will allow for continued IDF operations inside of Gaza. And it appears that Biden is at his house in Delaware. We have a KC-135 here looping over Wilmington, Delaware. But that's the latest breaking news that I have, guys. Okay, F-16s piloted by AI, testing the delivery of weapons with the AI from the F-16. Very scary stuff. Latvia building anti-tank trenches now along its border with Russia and passing a new military service law allowing foreigners to serve in the Latvian military. Massive NATO movement in northern Poland along the border with Russia, and Israel gearing up to go into Rafah. So get prepared, guys. I will be back potentially later on tonight with another update, but follow me on Telegram, and I will leave the link to my Telegram in the comments down below. But until next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.